A mass push for asylum on the southern border as a caravan of migrants puts the Trump administration's tough talk on immigration to the test.
If we don't get border security, we'll have no choice. We'll close down the country.
This week's historic summit has set the stage for a face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
This administration has its eyes wide open. We know the history, we know the risks.
And I'm never really sure what to call Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Like, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women?
Poor Sarah Huckabee Sanders had to sit there and endure personal slights that were unworthy of a drunken bachelorette party.
The last day of April, and this is Fox and Friends.
How do you turn dirt into dust? Is that like doing a wheelie in a truck in the middle of a field?
You should know.
Yeah.
You grew up with the people turn dirt.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They do donuts in the front yard, and then the dust forms.
Right, that's how you learn to drive.
True.
Before you actually learn to drive, you go into a parking lot and you turn.
Where did you learn to ride a bike?
Bike.
A bike.
Remember that?
You kind of threw me.
Our driveway.
Really?
Yeah,
On
sure.
the cement?
But
we went to the baseball field, and Dad would put us, we'd go around,
do
so
a
there
bike.
was some dust that would come from, that way if you fell off on.
But when
the
you
dirt
learn how to
versus
drive
the
a car,
cement.
generally your parents take you. You know, we grew up in small towns. We went out into the country roads, and there was a lot of dust there. You probably went where to a mall parking lot and hit 19 cars.
Do you know that? Know the whole water babies thing where they take a baby and they throw him in the water? For us, we learned to drive by getting right onto Long Island Expressway, and before we even knew where the brake and gas was, and it helped me become a better person.
And you wonder why so many people
After
drive
a panic
taxi.
attack, right?
Anyway,
right.
thank you very much. We've got a very busy Monday morning, and we start with a Fox News alert. The Caravan has hit a wall. As you can see, that's the wall right there. It's iron, and it extends out into the Pacific Ocean. It's at the San Ysidro port of entry. And yesterday, 200 of the migrants who had spent 35 days on the road going through Mexico, they were ready to request asylum by the American government. And then they found out there was trouble at the border.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't have room for them. And the guys down at the border who are working for border security, they're trying to process all these individuals, but there's so many coming in, they can't do it. So they're all waiting, many of them waiting inside passageways of the bridge, waiting at the gates. And then, as you can see, some trying to scale the fence.
Two things. Mexico has failed us. They were supposed to not let this happen. Number two, even though they're not Mexicans, they are OTMs other than Mexicans, but they pass through that country, or else this wouldn't be happening. That scene is exactly what the president's been saying. We need a border that's effective, that works. That is the example of a barrier not working.
Wow.
They are laughing at what's there now. This is what they do normally, and this is how they get in always. And that's why you got to have some of those prototypes put into play.
But this is different this time, Brian, because of what the government is saying. Apparently yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon, 50 Caravan members went into the Ped West entrance there in San Ysidro. And they said, we're here for asylum. And they go, as we were saying, no room at the inn. They said, we've reached capacity. They didn't let anybody in because they said, you're going to have to wait in Mexico. So that is something new, and suddenly a number of them are demoralized, and it's like, well, how long are we going to have to wait here? In fact, 4 young couples got married yesterday by a pastor from Chicago because they thought that would increase their odds of being kept together as a unit rather than being split apart if they go to detention.
But why is it different? Why is that different?
Because usually they go...
No, but that backs up why you need a legitimate wall, and then you let the paperwork handle, and they don't come into our country. And what you should look at when you see these people is not their individual stories. I'm sure that many of them are fine people with stories that will break your heart.
Trouble.
Guess what? There are other fine people who are trying to do it the right way that are saying to themselves, why am I paying the money, doing the fine, signing the guest book? At the same time, they get ahead of me because they broke the rules.
All right, so you're saying this is proof that we need a wall. The president was talking about a few days ago, said he was going to shut down the government, at least threaten to shut down the government if we don't get this wall funded. Listen.
We have to have borders, and we have to have them fast. And we need security. We need the wall. We're going to have it all. And again, that wall has started. We got $1.6 billion. We come up again on September 28th. And if we don't get border security, we'll have no choice. We'll close down the country because we need border security.
This is not the first time that a group has been forced to wait in Mexico. Thousands of Haitians, when they were trying to seek asylum here in the United States, they went into the same port right there in San Ysidro, and they said, you know, we're going to have to go one at a time. But what is different about it this time is because we knew they were coming, they said, you know what? There's no room right now. You're going to have to wait in Mexico. So obviously, this does sell the president's message when you see those people and they're waving the Honduran flag on the wall. It's like, we need a wall that works.
And the president's got to make sure that his message, no offense to these people, that his message is there's a right way to do it. And if these people get in, the president will look terrible. 6 minutes after the top of the hour.